This is probably a story you've never heard. Even a history buff like me hadn't heard it. Elizabeth Bathory wasn't just a historical figure. From 1585 to 1610 AD, she allegedly killed and tortured between 80 and 650 women. Her story is more relevant today than ever, and I'm about to share why. Did you know that one of history's most notorious figures, Elizabeth Bathory, was rumored to have bathed in the blood of young girls? I know it sounds like something straight out of a horror movie, right? But who was this so-called blood countess? And how did her chilling legacy continue to haunt us even today? Elizabeth Bathory was born in 1560 in the Kingdom of Hungary, and she belonged to one of the most prominent families in the region. The landscape of her life was filled with feasts, castles, power struggles, and a society that often turned a blind eye to the darker sides of nobility. Born into wealth, she was expected to marry and uphold family honor, but things took a twisted turn. As rumors swirled around her, she became infamous for her alleged crimes against young women. Her story captivated people for centuries, and it still does today. Why? Because it raises so many questions about morality, power, and the lengths one might go to in the pursuit of eternal youth. So buckle in as we dive deeper into this chilling tale. She married Ferenc Nadasti at the young age of 15 in a politically arranged marriage. She had several children, including Anna, who was born in 1585, Orsolia, Cataline, Andras, Paul, Gvorgi. Some accounts say that they had a son named Miklos. Her husband died in 1604 in the war against the Ottomans, leaving her Čachtice castle, which is in modern-day Slovakia, to run, including its defenses and business affairs. It was after this that her brutal reign of terror began. The whispers of her gruesome activities began in the early 1600s. Many reports suggested that she lured young girls to her castle under the guise of offering them work or education, but instead, they mysteriously disappeared. Once under her control, the women would be tortured and murdered. The torture would include starvation, freezing, beatings, biting, and burning. She would drain their blood and then bathe in it, convinced that it would help her stay young. The investigation into her activities was chaotic at best. Local authorities were hesitant to confront a member of the nobility, but as more and more complaints poured in, they had no choice but to take action. Key figures emerged during this investigation, including her supposed accomplices, who claimed she believed that bathing in the blood of virgins would keep her youthful. It's almost unbelievable, right? But these claims only added fuel to the fire, leading to a widespread panic. The combination of fear, superstition, and the lack of forensic science at the time created a perfect storm for the stories that would follow. What they found was beyond imagination. Reports described rooms filled with the remnants of her gruesome acts. They also found one dead woman and another who had been imprisoned. The evidence was overwhelming, and Bathory was arrested. Jorge Thurzo led the investigation into Bathory. In March of 1610, he and 2 others collect evidence. They interviewed numerous witnesses, and on New Year's Eve in 1610, Thurzo arrested her along with 4 of her servants. But wait, it gets even crazier. During the investigation, testimony from over 300 witnesses painted a picture of a woman consumed by madness and a desperate need for immortality. Her servants spoke out against her, although it's believed they did so because they were tortured. All 4 would be executed, but not before 2 had their fingers pulled off with red-hot pincers. The emotional impact of this case rippled through the community. People were horrified, yet fascinated by the idea that someone so wealthy and powerful could commit such acts. It was a turning point, not just for Bathory, but for how society viewed the intersection of power and morality. However, fearing a trial and sentence of execution would publicly disgrace the influential Bathory family, Thurzo convinced the King Matthias II to imprison her instead. She was taken to the castle and placed in a small windowless room with only small slits for ventilation and providing food. She would pass away on August 24th of 1614. But the quest to understand her actions didn't stop there. Over the years, various historians have debated the truth behind her story. Was she truly a mass murderer? The claim of 680 victims seems a bit out of reach given the short time span and that they would have surely been noticed disappearing. Were these tales exaggerated due to the misogyny of her time? More recently, attempts to identify the young women who fell victim to her have sparked interest among genealogists and historians alike. Some say that Thurzo orchestrated the rumors and arrested her as he saw her as a political rival. He is said to also have done it to help the king further expand his control over Hungary's nobles. It's also posited that he was after her wealth. Another theory is that the king owed her family a considerable sum of money and could avoid paying with Bathory gone. As we wrap up this eerie tale, it's essential to reflect on the key points. Elizabeth Bathory's story raises profound questions about society, power, and the human psyche. Her story has inspired books, plays, and even films. She has been compared to Vlad III, who was also the inspiration behind the Bram Stoker's book Count Dracula. The mystery of her crimes continues to captivate our imagination, reminding us that even the most powerful can fall into darkness. The legend of the Blood Countess lives on, and it's a reminder of the importance of keeping these stories alive, lest we forget the lessons they teach us about human nature. So, what do you think? Was Elizabeth Bathory a true mass murderer or just a victim of her time? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you're intrigued by unsolved mysteries and chilling historical figures like Bathory, be sure to check out my other videos. There's a whole world of dark stories waiting for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Catch you in the next one.